my winter break is up, and now I am going back to school, so upload schedule might be a bit wonky. You won't be getting daily videos, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it works out, but anyways, I don't think I mentioned this before, even this in the GD days, but I travel a lot. Once a year, in fact. My family likes to go places, and so I have been to about 20 different countries. My parents have been to even more. Now, I haven't had trips that were too bad, most of them, but I have had individual moments that were, I guess, quote unquote, scary. I think scary experiences are something you'll be unable to avoid if you travel a lot because, wake up call, you're not in fucking Minnesota, you're in the Himalayas trying not to get eaten by a fucking Yeti. Today, I will be sharing with you 4 experiences I've had abroad that were pretty fucking scary, going from least to most. So, let's get into it way back to when I was like 1 and on my first trip ever, Costa Rica. This is what I classify as a getaway vacation, and what I mean by that is we just stayed in a resort and swam, and my parents probably drank. I don't know. We didn't really see anything per se, but I have 3 memories of this trip. First memory is me playing on the patio of our hotel room with some Mickey Mouse toys doing fuck all. Second is my strawberry ice cream melting it within seconds of getting it. And third is this. So, like any Caribbean resort, their main shtick is pools. There was this one pool where my mom swam in, and she would set me on the decently sized ledge, perfect for a dumbass child like me, where the water didn't even go past her feet. Now, I had some fun in there. I splashed around a million times, but after those initial million times, shit got pretty boring. So I looked at my mom, who was like doing flips in the water and shit from what I can remember, and was like, hey, I want to do that. So I jumped into the pool, and what I can remember was very trippy for some reason. I didn't close my eyes, so everything was blurry, and I kept going down, and everything was getting darker. If your dumbass hadn't caught on yet, I'm fucking drowning and not realizing it. To my 1-year-old brain, I was swimming, and that didn't even scare me, honestly, because I had no idea I was dying. But what did scare me is a couple seconds later, something just fucking rams into me at full force. First thing I thought a shark had entered the pool and ran into me. Nope. Turns out it was my mom who was not gonna let her only son die. Now for the next 3, they're actually scary at the time. Not looking back on it, but rather then it was still scary. Starting off with Nova Scotia. If I had to classify this trip, it would be a family vacation, where the main kicker is we see a ton of family. I've been on 2 family vacations, and this one was for my mom's side of the family. Alongside the family aspect, we still saw a lot in Nova Scotia, including but not limited to the Miners Museum. Now, as sort of fucked up as the Miners Museum is, claustrophobes beware, by the way, this incident took place after our tour of the mines. For additional context, there is basically a tropical storm outside. In Nova Scotia, they get some pretty insane weather, and so it was like raining like a bitch at the time. So at the Miners Museum, they have these buildings outside that I forget what purpose they serve, and I was told to meet my mom and some other people there. So I trudged through the storm into the building where some old dude is rambling on about some stuff. I get in the doorway of this building and take 1 step forward. This is probably the most important steps I've ever taken in my entire life, because a millisecond later, the door behind me slammed shut so hard, everyone else thought it was like a gunshot or some shit. Seriously, this is one of the loudest things I have ever heard. I look back, the door had chipped because of the force it was slammed shut. Turns out, the wind had slammed the door so hard it broke. Scary shit. Next one was in Toronto. I've been to Toronto a million times, mainly because the biggest airport in Canada is there. but I can really only recall 2 full vacations my family has taken to Toronto, and this is one of them. So my dad got us a nice hotel with an indoor water park, which I was so ready to go into. It was actually so calm in the water park, yet really big. So after our day exploring Toronto, we head back, put on our swimsuits, and we go into the park. Now, one thing to note is that there was this huge tube water slide that just spiraled down. And when you enter this bitch, this is the first thing you'll see. I wanted to go down this thing, and so after swimming for a little bit, I headed up the stairs of the water slide, and I had never gone down a big water slide before. Just keep that in mind. When I got up there, there was another kid waiting to go down, and let me tell you, I just stared into the entrance of this water slide. It was pitch black on the inside, and I'm starting to have doubts because the kid goes in and he's gone, like as if a fucking black hole just sucked him in. Listen, I don't know what convinced me to go in. Maybe it was some other kid getting impatient, but nonetheless, I still went down the fucking thing, and what happened next was legit hell on earth. Remember how I said it was pitch black upon initial viewing? Well, it stayed pitch black for the rest of the ride. It spiraled down, so I was like doing random twists and turns on my way down whilst I was completely blind. My heart rate went from 40 to 200. I was just being tossed around this death trap of a slide, because on top of that, it hurt like a motherfucker. My back was getting scraped as I went down the slide. Finally, I got shit out of the slide, albeit in the deep end of the pool. I could not swim well at the time, so I was like struggling to keep afloat. And my dad was standing up straight in the pool, laughing like he didn't know the absolute hell I had undergone. Fuck. Now, something to note is that this fucking water slide has given me a huge fear of water slides. Only a couple years back have I somewhat gotten over this fear. Because I still stand by the fact that water slides are super dangerous. Like, seriously. Alright, we're at the last one. And this one took place in the historically relevant country of Greece. Specifically somewhere on this island. It was our first day leaving the mainland and going into the islands, and I had gotten a pretty bad headache at the time. So to my annoyance, we were having to walk to our next city in the blistering heat, which was like way the fuck over there, and we were here. Anyways, my dad was on Google Maps, and the thing kept telling him to go through a road, which that direction only led him to a house. He waved to the guy in the house, and he came out. Sketchy fuck, by the way. And he said some shit like, "Oh yeah, come over here, here's the road." That's an Italian accent, I don't know what I'm doing. He led us to this clearly unattended path that was locked by a gate. He unlocked the gate and told us, "Just go down through here." I was already having massive doubts. And to this day, I think the guy was just setting us up for like a robbery or a trafficking. The path was extremely narrow and overgrown. There were plants that would sting you, broken glass. It was not looking good. Any minute now, the fucking Greek mafia was about to hold us at gunpoint. Now, the worst part was yet to come. Going back to when the guy was taking us to the road, I guess my mom also took notice of the unkept path, because she asked him if there were any animals on the path. The guy laughed and said, no animals." And this alone is one of the reasons I think we were being set up. Because we were making our way through in the middle of a conversation. We heard this barking from nowhere. We look up. There is a rabid dog chewing away at a fence trying to get to us, accompanied by another one who was just barking. At that point, we picked up the pace, and lucky us, the end of the path was right there, and we were in the city. Holy shit, I still think about this to this day. Fuck you, guy, because yes, there was animals on the fucking path that was about to swallow my little sister whole.